right. So today's topic, the data portal, and in particular, the Data Portal Pro. Um, just going to go over some of the features available and maybe try to um, better demystify and make people understand the differences between the basic functionality and the pro functionality. Um, so basically, the data portal in a nutshell comprises of pretty much a whole bunch of manufactured data sets and component information. From the little image you can see here, you can see basic information. This is maybe not up to date. I think it's the latest one I found, but chances are this might be changed. 19 languages, um, registrations, per month, and so on and so forth. How many companies are or suppliers are in the data portal to date? And yeah, again, disclaimer: this might change because it's a rapid growing product that ePlan supplies, and it's very, it's very exciting, very interesting for all these manufacturers to put information or data component information for us users who need to use this on an everyday basis. So to get some a little bit more understanding, so under utilities, you have access to the data portal. For those of you who are new to the ePlan realm, basically what you need to do is create an account. These are some of the features and functions that are basic in understanding when we're doing basic trainings and stuff like that. We'll go through that. But once you have your account set up, once you access the data portal, well, you'll have access to the data portals. Either you'll have the embedded capabilities, you'll also have the capability of accessing it through your web browser. So these are topics that are pretty much out there, but my main focus is going to be to talk to you about the professional kind of functionality, professional aspects. So one of the biggest recommendations or requests that we get, of course, is having the data portal is it's great, but we have to find component data, ourselves, either through the search field or either we'll hunt them down through the different manufacturers available. Maybe we do know the part number, we can actually kind of search for it, but one of the functionalities that the Pro version will give you, of course, again talking about the Pro functionality, the capability of validating or updating parts. This is one key aspect. Of course, basic functionality: find a part, download it, stick it into your parts database. But what do we do after the fact, right? So eventually, part data is being updated almost every month, from what we understand. So manufacturers are mandated to update their component data information every month. As you'll notice, usually when you'll log in, you will have information, about the data portal. As you can see up here, there's update information for these different manufacturers. And this, again, it's every month. So there's a lot of data that's being updated. So sometimes maybe you'll download a component maybe last year, and there might be something new. There might be 3D model drilling template, something that would be beneficial to you as the process goes on. So there are a few ways of going by it, of course. One of the ways that you can go by it is to have the system automatically check for you pretty much your whole parts library. So of course you can use this feature that you see up here, check now. It'll basically scan through your parts database, see if there's any relevant parts that have updated information, and you'll be able to update it. So that's one way. Another interesting and pretty cool way to go by it is under the utilities parts management. So if you're looking for, or you're working on a project and you have access to a particular part that your customer needs, and you're looking for that part, you can find it. Maybe this is the part my customer is looking for, and this part maybe it's an older part, and I want to verify if there's something new available for this part. So I can actually right click, and you'll see here from the parts management environment, you can update via the data portal. So very intuitive way of looking for things, very simplified way. All I have to do is just click on it. It'll automatically find it in the data portal. It'll search it. It'll see that this part is available, and it'll also let you know. So total number of parts that were requested, one. Number of parts that can be updated or enhanced is one. So technically found some enhancements, or it found some updates. And you can actually validate that with this icon here that tells you to show the differences of what you have in your parts database currently right now and what the data portal might have as an update. So as you can see here, not a lot. but still some data that is updated. So here, the last editor, of course, well, that's and the creator is not really that important, but the supplier has been updated. There's some other values here as space requirement has been updated. So this is a part that I downloaded in the past. So from the data portal, so it had pretty much complete data. So I'm not really going to bother too much with it. But of course, as you can see, very interesting feature that the system can actually state, this is the information in your local parts management, and we're going to update it with these values. And of course, you have the choice to say yes or no. Here you can say, okay, yeah, that's fine. This is what I need. Just hit the update. It's going to import the information. It's going to show you a little dialogue of what it's going to update, what files are going to be brought in. And of course, we can say yes. And that information is now updated and part of my parts management, updated from the functionality of the Data Portal Professional. Um, of course, from that environment, updating, whether you do it automatically through a full-blown check, or if you do it manually from the parts database, these features and functions that the Data Portal has, the Data Portal Pro has, greatly, speed up your processes looking for stuff. So updating parts, pretty much in a nutshell. Another one, there's another aspect, of course, that we get a lot. Customers, out there who are working, they'll get a list of components that their own customers are requesting for this particular project built. So they'll either get an Excel spreadsheet, or they'll probably get a text file. And of course, from this environment here, this is the list of parts that are required by my manufacturer, by my customer, and I want to verify if I have them in the data portal, or I want to verify maybe I need to update these parts. So from the Excel spreadsheet that my customer gives me, there's a few ways of going by it. So one of the ways, of course, is to create your own. You can create your own CSV file or even a text file. And to proceed, it's super simple. I can actually go here and say create a new. Now I'm doing it on my other screen, but that's not relevant. What's relevant is that I bring this file up, and basically it's just the standard text file. And what I could do is I can give it I guess you would call it the command for what property to search for. So we're looking for the part NR, which is the EPLAN's designation for part number. And then technically what I can do here as a little trick and tip, what I can do from my end, I can basically grab all these parts from my customer's list of parts, copy that and just paste it here. Now, once that's pasted over, there could be some modifications and changes. Obviously, there's some certain things that you can enhance. You'll notice here in the case of if you're a little bit more savvy in how EPLAN assigns part numbers to these, we're always using the 3-letter code of the manufacturer in a certain format. So for this one here, I'm missing a dash, and that's just because my customer didn't assign it to me. This one, as you can see, it's a --N, which is basically for a North American part. I can actually turn all those into -N, _N as well. So it all depends on, here it's very simple. I can do that right away. I can do a _N and maybe just grab that, copy, and then here paste, 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 so on and so forth. So since I'm working in a North American environment, I'm going to need North American parts. And this is some of the little, tweaks that you can do yourself. So prior to bringing that in, just to make sure that we get the right information in, and especially since I'm working with North American parts, I make sure that I have this information in the valid format. And of course here, what I can do is I'm just going to save this, put it on my desktop and call it, I don't know, customer parts. It's text file. I can save it as text and hit save on that and just come back into the data portal. Now what I can do with that inside my shopping cart here, I have here the capability of importing a file, an external data into my shopping cart. And of course I can choose here. It says CSV, but you do have the capability of searching for text files as well. So these are the properties. So I can go ahead, select my select my file, hit open, and basically hit submit. That's going to upload my file into the data portal. and then I'm going to get a return of what was found. So technically here, these are the parts that were found. So there were some parts that the customer assigned that obviously were not available in the data portal for XYZ reason, maybe discontinued parts, maybe brand new parts that the manufacturer hasn't provided yet. But basically, these are the ones that are available, and I can start to bring them in, hit submit, and basically he'll assign those parts as being parts that I'm, that are ready to be downloaded and maybe populate my parts database. Now, one of the key elements that we can also do in a pro version is that we can actually assign tags to these parts. So just for quick search purposes, one of the key elements here, of course, using the EPLAN tool is always to save time. Save time equals save cost equals save money, and so on and so forth. So one of the benefits here is that, let's say this is my Acme customer, and of course I want to save this as I want to label these parts as a tag for just that customer, because he's the only one that maybe needs these parts, and I want to create like a quick filter for these parts for that customer. So here you can actually create a tag. So if I use this icon, click on new tag, and I can actually give it a tag name, and I call it Acme customer. Save that. So I just created a quick tag for these devices in the data portal under my account name. So what will this do eventually? Of course, if I go into if I'm looking for some part specifics, or I'm doing some searches, one of the aspects that I can do, of course, is you'll notice here if I'm in the display list view, I have now here tag, and under tag, if I open that up, if I hit the yeah, there we go. So if I it just opens up the tag, and of course this is my tag I created for my Acme customer. So if I click on this to activate that tag or that quick search filter, it'll only filter out in the parts um, in the data portal that tag that I actually assigned. So you can actually manage that, like for different industries or different customer types, or the whole list comes to mind if you want to actually assign tags to various parts in the data portal with your own specific criteria information, so that it's very easy for you to quick access those parts whenever you need to do maybe a future project for this Acme customer, and you remember, oh yeah, he used a couple of parts, but where were those parts? I don't remember, and you can access that through the tag. So very interesting feature to enable tag features to basically quick filter stuff. So that's pretty interesting. It's pretty sweet. Another, of course, functionality that the Data Portal Pro has is the capability of creating quick filters. So you'll see here filter schemes, and right now I don't have any filters created. What I can do is I can actually go here. So I'm going to create a quick search right now. I'm looking for, let's say, Allen Bradley parts, and I'm also going to give it some criteria. I want to find all the 3D model stuff, and maybe all the stuff that also has drilling patterns assigned to them. So this is a quick filter that I want to create for future reference, and anything that will have these features and these criterias, I want to be able to quick search them and quick find them. So I'll do a little search function here. It'll find them, the ones that are available in the data portal right now. And you'll notice that my filter scheme now switched from no active filter, or what did it say here? It said no filter selected, to user defined. So those of you who are accustomed to the EPLAN environment, you'll notice that when you change filters around, automatically it'll say user defined, and you'll have a little save button. So if I tick here the save button and I give this a name, I'm going to call this, AB 3D parts. I don't know, you name it, whatever you want to name it, you hit save. So what this will enable you to do is that for future reference, here, I'm just going to come out of my filter environment. Um, Under now the filter schemes, you can create yourself a list of a whole bunch of different quick filter search schemes. So now if I'm working on a project and my customer spec'd out some Allen Bradley parts, and I'm doing pro panel work, and I want to make sure I get some of the latest and the greatest parts, I can actually access that quick filter scheme right away, and just run that. And if I go to my list view, I'll be able to see all those parts that basically have those criterias that I've specified in my filter scheme. So that's pretty sweet. It enables you to to do those kind of functions, and basically help you and guide you to be able to obviously do your work a lot quicker. So other features and functions that you can also do, of course, besides importing and stuff like that. You can create group environments. So if you're working in large companies with a lot of EPLAN users, you can create groups and label those um, groups or assigned users to those specific groups that might have, certain credentials, such as possibilities of download, possibilities of maybe leaving comments on those parts, and so on and so forth. So for the everyday, I guess, users, this doesn't really necessarily apply, but for, the big wigs out there that need to manage that, user groups in a certain kind of EPLAN data portal specific kind of way, this is kind of the functionality that it enables you. So that was just a quick run through of all some of the features available for the Data Portal Professional. Of course, there's a lot more features, of course, that we offer, and there's a lot more interesting data that is also offered by ePlan. So be sure to check all those out. Stay tuned, stay up to date, and yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video, and yeah, have a good one. Thank you very much.